I just think it's a great tool. So let's have a
February 2023. The world was still living by the old financial logic, but we pressed start. We wanted to create an ecosystem that would unite artificial intelligence and finance to make asset management simple, scalable, and secure. That's how Aurum was born. The starting point was EXAI Bot, the first AI-powered trading solution, an algorithm that laid the foundation for an entire era. From that moment, we began expanding at the speed of light. We've built and are implementing a vision that includes trading AI bots, exchanges, neobank, crypto cards, and real-world asset tokenization, official registration in Hong Kong, and the first features in global media. The creation of Aurum Neobank, the launch of Zeus AI Bot, and the flash loan license surpassing $1 million in profits. The opening of our headquarters in Dubai, where hundreds of industry leaders gathered. The world started to talk about us. We were featured by Binance, Benzinga, Crypto Reporter, and Blockchain Wire. Forbes called us the new infrastructure of global finance. But this is no time to pause. We're gaining momentum. We launched Aurum Academy, strengthen our team, and appoint Brian Benson, a professional with 27 years of experience, as our CEO. Global events in Vietnam, Dubai, and Antalya, thousands of cards sold, and the launch of the AI agent ecosystem. Today, we stand on the stage of Token 2049 Singapore, alongside the leaders of Binance, Tether, KuCoin, and Tron. And this moment once again proves Aurum is a global ecosystem of worldwide scale. But the most important part, this is only the beginning. The next decade will be one of expansion. In 2025 to 2026, we bring Aurum Neobank to the mass market. Hundreds of thousands of users, millions of transactions. The launch of Aurum Exchange, which reaches $5 billion in trading volume within its first year. AI bots manage over $100 million in assets. The first 5,000 cash-in and withdrawal terminals appear. Aurum establishes its presence in 10 countries and secures its position in the global market. In 2027 to 2028, we raise the bar. Neobank reaches 2 million users and 1.5 million cards. During this period, Aurum Dex, a next-generation decentralized exchange, launches. Personalized AI-based services emerge. Credit scoring and capital management. The first RWA deals worth $500 million are integrated. The terminal network expands to 20,000 points across 20 countries. By 2029, Neobank evolves into a super app. Flight bookings, taxis, car rentals, food delivery, while transactions exceed $20 billion. Aurum Dex cements its position within the ecosystem with $5 billion in trading volume, becoming a key element of Aurum's DeFi direction. AI agents operate for hundreds of thousands of businesses, and RWA grows to $5 billion. Aurum becomes an ecosystem that accompanies users every day. In 2030 to 2033, we reach global scale. Neobank's user base hits 12 million and over 10 million cards. Inside the super app, 15 to 20 integrated services and partnerships with 500 global brands. Aurum Exchange reaches $90 billion in trading volume and enters the top 10 global crypto exchanges. The terminal network expands to 100,000 plus locations across 50 plus countries. The annual Aurum Global Summit gathers 5,000 leaders. By 2033 to 2035, Aurum Neobank enters the top 5 global neobanks with a valuation of $10 billion plus. Aurum Exchange remains in the top 10, while Aurum Dex surpasses $20 billion in trading volume. AI manages over $5 billion in assets, and RWA exceeds $20 billion. We are present in 75 countries, with 1,000 global partners and over 100,000 terminals. The Aurum Global Summit brings together 10,000 industry leaders. Aurum becomes the symbol of a new financial era, a system that made finance accessible to everyone, a story that has already transformed the industry, and a future that already belongs to us.
Wow, what a crescendo! I get, yeah, I love that video. It really has energy in it and some great information there. We heard about RWAs, and if you were on the call yesterday, fabulous call where they announced the first of our RWAs. Now, for our new guests, RWA may not mean anything to you. RWA stands for real world asset, and our first real world asset will be gold. That will be 24 karat real gold bullion. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. If you missed it yesterday, there is a recording available. I highly suggest you get your hands on that and spend 30, 40 minutes listening to it, listen to it twice if necessary, and be prepared for this phenomenal product. So without further ado, let's get this event started. And again, thank you again for attending.
Recording in progress.
Well, a very good evening to you, good afternoon, good morning, depending where it is and where in the planet you are. But I want to thank you for coming to listen to this quick overview. I don't work for the company myself. I'm not paid to present this information. It's just my own thoughts, my own opinions. I'm happy to share the little bit of due diligence that I've done. I'm not an accountant. I'm not I think they call them CPAs. I'm not a financial advisor. It's always prudent, ladies and gentlemen, to do your own due diligence before starting any business. It's important to seek what I would call professional advice so you know what you're getting involved with. Particularly because cryptocurrency in this industry is quite volatile, but also that also brings a lot of opportunity. But with that said, I'd like to share a little bit about what I know about this company. I'm going to focus initially on the company because I think that's very important. Too often have we been let down by different companies and actors and all kinds of things going on. But when you dive into who's behind this and who's running the show and who the CEO is, it certainly gave me a lot of confidence. And I looked at the structure or the legal corporate structure of this opportunity, and I saw that were three separate entities. They had the Neo Bank operating out of Europe. They had the Aurum Investment LLC operating out of the Emirates. And of course, there are offices there. And with appointment, you can go to those offices. You can meet the team. You can actually book those offices. There's side rooms, boardrooms, for you to actually bring guests as well to develop your business. You can use it yourself if you live in that region, of course. And in Hong Kong, whilst there is no office in Hong Kong, it has the Aurum Foundation registered in Hong Kong. I then had a look at the corporate structure and the type of people, where they're from and who's involved. And I found a big dispersity of people from all around the world, from United States to South America, Asia, Southeast Asia. So when we look on the screen here, we've got Leonardo. Now, Leonardo worked at government level in blockchain, a very smart and tidy young man. I've actually met this gentleman, and I spent a week with him about 3 weeks ago when I was down in Brazil. And this gentleman worked with Brian Benson, the CEO, in Binance, and has a lot of experience. And Brian Benson said this: "There's nobody on the planet he would rather build his Aurum exchange than this man." And we're looking forward to see it in its full glory. It's already launched. The centralized version is launched, and the decentralized, the DEX, has not launched. That'll come later, but it's up already in what we call public beta testing. We've got Al Risky from Asia. We've got Nicholas Kelland all the way from Australia. Nicholas is dealing with head of partnerships. We've got Brent and Tobias. These are our VC advisories for the big accounts. They deal at a different level. These guys participate at the events around the world, building the Aurum brand. They do manage their own hedge funds. They are invested in this themselves. And when you see this caliber of people, and if you find out who these guys are and research them, you'll be pretty impressed. They speak at our events. Recently, also, they introduced Bakari. He's the ex-deputy finance minister from Sierra Leone. These guys, along with Nick Patel, will be providing that real gold bullion, that 24 karat 999 pure bullion will come from the mines of Sierra Leone. And what you'll be able to do is some of you will be going to visit those mines, but 50% of your product will be in the physical metal. That'll be a hedge against inflation. And the other 50% will enter a particular and specific algorithm that's being tested. They're talking about 7 to 10% a month, but in the first month's trial, I believe it actually did 30%. But I'm not here to say that's going to happen all the time, but they are suggesting that it could do between 7 and 10% a month. So there's two parts to it. One is the physical gold. The other part will be gold trading against the dollar. And so one will make you money residually, and the other will protect you and your family as a well, you could call it an asset, but it's a hedge against inflation. It's a great savings instrument. I'm a big fan of gold. Nick Patel, he is the founder of Clink Gold, CLINQ, Clink Gold. He's also the CEO of Bank of Bullion. These guys have a lot of experience in the industry, and you're going to find that Aurum is continually adding and bolting on greater infrastructure, greater team and corporate members, and even the likes of Shane Moran, who I don't even have put on this. That gentleman founded and built a massive company in the coffee industry. He introduced probably the world's biggest direct sales earner on the planet, and he's now working at corporate as well and in the field. He's the link between corporate and field. So we see the company continually growing and emerging and bolting on these fabulous guys. But of course, the man of the hour, the man of now, the man of 2025, and certainly going to be the man of 2026 is this man. Brian Benson from United States did his university at Santa Barbara over in California. When he left uni, he went straight into the banking world. He became a trader at Morgan Stanley. After his time with Morgan Stanley, he went to Web3 and blockchain. He ended up working for Binance, and what a job did this man do at Binance. This man went into South America and Latin America, well, Central and South America. This man opened Brazil, Chile, Peru, Paraguay, Colombia, Argentina, Mexico. This man opened all of Binance and in that region. And it attributed to up to maybe 20% of Binance's total revenue. And when you think what Binance did, went from nothing to $1 billion in 6 months. It beat Tesla, it beat Microsoft, it beat Apple. And this guy, part of that, he brought Binance Pay. He was part of the team that introduced Binance Pay to Binance. He was part of the team that brought the Lightning Network. In fact, this man was the first man to mention the Lightning Network to CZ. So he's great, I suppose, what would you say, experience and great connections. And I don't think there's anybody on the planet better to represent, or any captain better to steer this ship than Mr. Brian Benson. Now, if you do a Google on him, you'll find him everywhere. This is good news, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because he's not an actor. You're going to find images when he was much younger. What does that tell you? There's history here as well. You can see him with the Binance shirt. You can see him as he appears today. In fact, Forbes magazine have spoken positively on more than one occasion about this opportunity. They also invited, at one point, Brian Benson to the Forbes Finance Council. Now, that's a big recognition, a big accolade. Obviously, we know who Forbes are. Forbes interview these CEOs. Forbes do these rich lists, and they have to do a lot of research, a lot of data pull before they can produce something like this. So we're very, very pleased that he's been recognized by Forbes. The next interesting thing was this little black piece of plastic you can see on the screen, but you can also see it in my hand. What you'll notice is there's no name on the card. Why is that? Well, we don't need your name. We don't need your passport. We don't need your driver's license. We don't need a bank statement or utility bill. This is a non-KYC crypto card, and it's not something that's new. We've customers using this since June 2025. It's been around. The physical plastic card is difficult to get. They usually give it out at events. Everybody goes to the events, gets these. If you're in the region of the offices, you can get them. But there is a virtual card which works on your phone, and you can have that right now. In 5 minutes, you can be up and running with your own card. And you can import your crypto from anywhere, from Coinbase, Kraken, OKX, Binance, Trust Wallet, MetaMask. You can import your USDT to your Aurum account, press top up, and now you've got a way of spending your money. This is called off-ramping crypto. This solution is already in place and working phenomenally well. So that's a great product on itself. It doesn't involve trading. It involves actually shopping. Why? Because if you're the person that puts this card in the hands of people, every time this card is used, you make money. So when your next door neighbor goes and buys a coffee and uses this card, guess what? You got paid. When your customer settles their rent bill or their mortgage account or goes on a holiday, guess who got paid? Yeah, you did. Why? Because you were the person that got this into the hands of the people. So there's a whole income stream based around people spending money, which is quite an interesting product in itself. Brian Benson traveled the world last year, and he went from the Ethereum conference down in Argentina all the way over to Europe. He then went into London, back into the Netherlands. He headed down to Germany. He was in, he wasn't in Belgium. He was in the Netherlands, Germany. I was going to say Luxembourg. I might be wrong, but one of those other countries, Austria or Luxembourg, one of those countries. He went to Greece. He went to into the Emirates. Then he headed over to Vietnam. He was down in Hong Kong and back into the Emirates. This man is just running around the world, strutting his stuff. He's building his brand, north, south, east, and west. He could be found on any continent on the planet. In fact, he spoke at Token 2049. That is the biggest blockchain conference on the planet. 25,000 people showed up here. Guess who was on stage? Yeah, Aurum's Brian Benson was speaking. And so, of course, Binance were also there. They were speaking, Justin Sun. But it just shows you that this company is not afraid to be exposed. It's not afraid to put itself in the middle of what I would call an arena of crypto experts. And I got a lot of confidence knowing that they're out there building the brand, strutting their stuff, looking for. I suppose this is where they come up with the gold product, and they meet all of these VCs and stuff. When you're out there in the marketplace, looking for liquidity, looking for partnerships, looking for products, that's what Brian's doing. He's out there building the brand to develop and offer to his community. He ended up in the Emirates, speaking at many of the shows between Abu Dhabi and also Dubai. He's been interviewed, you saw in the video, by Binance, Benzingo, Crypto Newswire, Global Newswire, and many, many, many more. Forbes, I think, probably did a piece on him as well. And here he's interviewed by Wendy O. She's quite a famous, what you would call a social media expert. Quite interesting. I think a good part of your due diligence might be just to go and listen to her questions, and of course, more importantly, listen to Mr. Brian Benson's answers. And here we have him on stage as a panel of experts. But here's Brian, second from the right-hand side of your screen. But look who's sitting next to him. Yep, the co-founder of Sandbox and the co-founder of 1inch, the founder of EasyFlow. Go check out those companies, guys, to see why is Brian Benson in the middle of these giant crypto projects, these giant platforms, because he is respected. He is seen as an expert in his field. He was also invited to the Satoshi Roundtable. That is another private event. No media are allowed in here. This is where the future of AI, the future of blockchain, the future of fintech, financial technology is designed at these kind of events. I believe at many of these events, you would find the likes of Michael Saylor from Strategy. You would find BlackRock, the biggest financial institution, would go to these events. You would have even Donald Trump's sons who are getting very big into crypto as well. And who's on stage all the time? CEO of Aurum's on stage strutting his stuff. And here he is with his arm around the billionaire. Yeah, the founder of Binance, CZ. And that does tell us we're not dealing with any actor here. We're dealing with the Brian Benson from Binance. I took a quick look at their licenses. Yes, they are registered in Hong Kong, but as I said, they do not have offices there. We've already sent somebody there, and they don't operate offices there. They don't need to have offices there. Actually, they're not doing business there, but maybe they're, I suppose, possibly their accountant firm or their lawyer firm operated there. But that's where they established the foundation. But they do have a commercial license issued out of Dubai, the government of Dubai. You'll find this in the office on the wall. You can go and take your photograph or take a copy of it if you wish. You'll see down here, there's a black strokes down at the bottom. When this was taken, they asked to take the phone numbers off because they feared getting 10 or 20,000 phone calls every day. Is this your license? Do you have a license? They would get no business done if 20 or 100,000 people decided to phone those numbers. So that's the only reason why it's off. But on the real license in the office, the numbers are there. Okay, let's move away from the company. That's as much due diligence as I could do. I then wanted to examine the product range because that's important as well. What's the point of having a great company without a great range of products? And this company I'm going to suggest, at least 15 products on the table up and running right now. They have some other products, great products coming. And here's a great one here. This is the Aurum point of sale terminal. Now, every shop already has one of these. So why would they want another? Because this one's different. And this one accepts cryptocurrency payments and Visa and MasterCard. It accepts both fiat and cryptocurrency payments. So to get this into the shops, to get this into merchants, to get this into circulation, it's going to be a big task, but I think it's going to be very attractive for shops and businesses because they can say, hey, we sell coffee, but hey, we also accept cryptocurrency payments. And that might draw in a lot of business or a lot of new business to shops. And that's what businesses need today. They need cash flow, they need turnover. The second thing that this machine does is it can settle payments much faster than the old banking rails that we know of Visa and MasterCard. If you haven't been in business, What happens is you go for a coffee. Yes, you swipe your card, but the shop hasn't got your money. No, that money has gone over to Visa or MasterCard. It sits over there. And it's up to them to send it across to the shop. They might get it at the end of the month. They might get it in 2 weeks. But with this machine on blockchain payments, we have the ability to pay shops instantly or up to 72 hours. They'll probably go for the up to 72 hours, I would imagine. But it could be settled as good as instantly. And that would help with cash flow for shops. And the next question is, what's in it for you? Why are we telling you about this? Because they're working on software right now. I think they call it micro payment strategies. Um, if you were the person that introduced this to a shopkeeper, let's say you have a friend, a relative, a cousin, maybe you own a business yourself, and you install these machines, your wallet, the introducer's wallet, goes into the code. And every time this machine is used on the blockchain, you receive money. Now, there's a nice product. I used to be in the telecom business. We were moving customers from the main phone carrier, for instance, the USA, from AT&T to another carrier. And we were giving the customers like a discount, but we got paid a percentage of the phone bills that were settled, and we built an income based on phone billing. But can you imagine building a business with this? When people go shopping, you're making money. When people go into a shop, like you might even go into this shop yourself and you make money. So with the card program and this machine, I think there's a fabulous ecosystem ready to unravel here. The ATM machines are also being designed as well. These are going to be two-way ATM machines, so it's cash in for crypto onto your wallet. Or if you have cryptocurrency on a wallet, you can actually present a QR code to these machines, and out comes your paper money, sound effects and all. So that's another great product. And they have their exchange up and running, as I said, in public beta test mode. When it's in its full glory, I think this is going to be a really, really good product. It is a good product now. It works perfectly well. But the big thing that's not kicked in yet is the revenue model. What Brian Benson has agreed, he's agreed to give 50% of all the commissions generated back to this community. And that would be sensational. When you understand the volumes and the money that Coinbase and Kraken and Binance, even when you understand what they generate, how like they did $1 billion in a year. Now, where did they get the $1 billion? Like nobody just gave them money. That was generated through transactions. So imagine Brian Benson's offering 50% of the commissions back to the community. I think that's really going to drive this product. On this product, it's already up and running. If you want to try this, you can get 17 to 20% on your money right now today. This is a staking product, and the good news is you can withdraw at any point in time. It's not locked in for usually a staking period. You stake it for 30 days or 6 months or a year. No, you can stake it for an hour. You can stake it for a day at least, I suppose. So you can put your money in today and take it all out tomorrow if you wish. But here's the good news. When it is there, every single day it receives extra free money. So if you had a little bit of Bitcoin sitting on an account doing nothing, well, in here it gets free Bitcoin added every day. If you have USDT sitting in a wallet doing nothing, here it gets free USDT added to it every day to the tune of 17 to 20% a year. This is better than real estate. This is better than gold. 17 to 20% a year? Incredible for the traditional business owners. But of course, we have other products as well. And coming up is the gold product. Probably at the start of next week, I'll start introducing slides to talk about this particular product. But right now, it's just about to enter the customer base back office. But it is sensational, I believe. I actually did gold as well. I did telephones for 10 years, but I did gold for 12 years. Would you believe it? So all of this seems to be fitting into my wheelhouse. I don't know about you, but I think gold is phenomenal. I think it's the real money. I think it's a precious metal. It's you hear the expression "she's as good as gold" or "he's as good as gold," and the gold medal and everything is golden. Gold is just a sensational product, and it will hedge against inflation. The other half of your product will be used in an instrument to trade gold. It'll be gold trading against USDC. That's the digital version of the dollar. And that's an interesting product as well. But I'd like you now to hear from Brian Benson himself. Brian Benson's created, I don't know, when he worked at Binance, he said he saw thousands of people becoming millionaires back in those days. And he said, I want to do it again. but this time I want to be the boss. I want to be the CEO. So now a CEO, Brian Benson, wants to create 1,000 millionaires.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires.
Say that again, Brian.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have here at Aurum actually is very similar to when I started at Binance. So this man has done it before. He said it, and he's getting that energy, that feeling of what's happening here right now at Aurum. The growth, the interest in this is phenomenal, and he's starting to feel that again. And as he said, he wants to generate 1,000 millionaires. When I heard this first, I rolled my eyes as though, well, that doesn't matter. Who's ever going to create 1,000 millionaires? But I changed my mind on that concept 7 months later, because I could probably name 5 millionaires already that I would know personally from this. And I think he told me there could be 20 at this stage. So he wants 1,000. He might have between 10 and 20 already generated in the first 11 months. So there's room for 980 millionaires. So again, if you can believe in that concept and understand the compensation plan and understand what it takes to do that, because don't be misled that high earnings are easily achieved. It takes work, it takes effort, it takes consistency, it takes growth, it takes commitment, and all of those ingredients are important. Just like Usain Bolt, to get those 3 gold medals, he did run for 40 seconds at the Olympics. He got his first gold medal in less than 10 seconds when he won the 100. He got a second gold medal in less than 20 seconds when he won the 200. He got his third gold medal in less than 10 seconds when he won the 4x100. He got 3 gold medals and he ran for 40 seconds on the track. But is that the truth? It's a fact. But he actually worked for 4 years to get to that point. Up early in the morning, changing his diet, hitting the road, running in the gym, the commitment he made to go and do that. And of course, he got the gold medals. And same here. If you want to be one of these lofty, high-earning individuals, it takes time and effort. So don't be misled that it's easy. There's a lot of work if you want to achieve that. Now, let's move on, guys. We talked about some of the physical products, like physical. The ATM machines are physical. The gold bar will be physical. The point of sale terminals in the shops are physical things. But what about digital? They also have a good array of products. But to get started in the system is going to cost $20. Now, that means everybody on the planet technically could afford to have an Aurum business. And what I want you to be careful about is that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm sure most people listening to this are not financial advisors either. So you're not licensed, and I'm not licensed to give any financial advice. So you must tell people that. You can't make any predictions and things like that either. But what you can do is promote a website like YouTube or Amazon. You can promote websites, yeah, or the Aurum website, because it's just a $20 business. But when your customer actually subscribes for $20 to Aurum, then they're dealing directly with Aurum for the products. Because honestly, I don't have any of these cards to sell anybody because I don't have them. Aurum has them. I don't have the ATM machines. Aurum has them. I can't provide any of the AI agent products or the gold because Aurum has them. So, but all I can do is promote a website. And if you like what you see and you've done your due diligence and you've had your professional advice, then that's up to you. It's your decision. And then you can engage with these products, but you're dealing directly with the company. You don't send The person that shared this with you, any money at all, because why would you? They have nothing to sell you. You have to deal directly with this company. So, with that said, let me share some other products. I believe this is probably the sensational product that they have. It's the best product in the book. It's been around for 3 years, which I found quite interesting because I'd never heard about it until I heard about this in April of 2025. But this has been around since January 2026, and there's evidence of that as well. That the first deposit that went into this was on the 11th of January 2023. There's also evidence. I think Forbes wrote about it. They said that Brian Benson closed a $12 million VC venture capitalist. That's what that means to kick this off. And I think 1.5 million of that $12 million was put into this particular product to test it. And I also heard a rumor, and it's not confirmed, that same VC firm offered 100 million 4 months after they tried this for the product, but Aurum didn't sell it. They didn't, which was incredible. So anyway, with that said, let's tell you a little bit more about it. What is it? It's AI like ChatGPT. You type something in there and it can come up with, can pull 10,000 things together in 1 second, faster than humans. And AI now is affecting jobs, careers, businesses. But here's one way where people can actually take advantage of AI because, as I said, it's faster than humans. It doesn't have an emotional attachment. It can pull on data for years and years, just instantly bring it to the fore. And when these, 80% of the banks are already using this kind of stuff already. It's not like it's new. It's been around, but ordinary folk haven't had an opportunity to get their hands on it. But now Aurum have opened it up for use case here. And it's quite interesting. It's doing, on average, for the company, the whole fund is doing about 17.5% per month. Now, this is actually, I want to say a bad month. It's actually a good month. It did 16.85. This was for January of 2026. It made $11 million in the month. But let's get down to real. That's not for you, right? You can see the consistency of the bot. It's been doing 15, 17, 17, 17, 16, 17, 18, 18, 17. So it's very, very consistent, very, very smooth. But I saw details of this back in 2023. And back in 2023, I saw it at 9%. And then the next month, it could be up at like 18%. And the next month, it was back down at 12%. And the next month, so it was very, what I would call bouncy or rocky. Even though it was positive, it wasn't smooth and effective like what the results are showing now. So I asked, why is this? How come it's so smooth and typical now when at the start it wasn't? And they said, it's all to do with the AI. It's to do with the data feeds. It's to do with the information fed into it. It's got deep learning, whatever that means. It's got machine learning, whatever that means. It got data feeds coming in from social media, from every crypto platform. All the news feeds comes into the AI for it to help and analyze. It's got a thing called the Bloomberg feed. Apparently, that's quite expensive to get a feed from Bloomberg to feed into this. It's got its own risk management. It's not performed by humans. Now, humans do oversee it. They're there with a kill switch. In case some extraordinary news came left field, they can just disconnect it from the exchanges. But it has its own risk management, all built in. And for the consumers and the customers, they've nothing to do. It's all done automatically for you. So that's quite interesting. Now, whilst the company's getting 17.5%, no way are you getting that. What you'll get will be determined by your own account. So you'll be able to download an app from Apple Store and what's that other one? Google Play. The Google Play one's already there. It's called the Aurum Neo Bank. And you'll get about 8 accounts or 8 wallets inside it. You'll have your own USDT wallet. You'll get a Bitcoin wallet. You'll get your own Ethereum wallet, BNB wallet, and a few more. You'll get about 8 or 9 coins in this wallet. And then it's up to you to put your own money into your own account. And then from there, you nominate where you'd like to try. Do you want to go and buy a card? Do you want to go and get some gold? Do you want to go and use the exchange and just stake it? Do you want to use this particular product? So it's up to you what you do with with your own money. But let's say you wanted to try this product and you tried $120 or $180 or $206. There's no packages here, guys, and there's no cap. Yeah. Very often I've seen packages 100, 300, 500, 1,000, like these kind of packages. This is not like that. And very often you see like caps 2x, 3x, 4x, and you're out. That's one of the questions. I said, well, if you get 3 times your money, are you out? They went, what does that mean? I said, well, do you get 3x and you're finished, or 2x, or what's the deal here? I don't know what you mean by 2x, 3x. Well, I said, I've seen platforms that once you get 2 times or 3 times your money, the product's over. How would it be over? It's still trading. No, there's no cap. You just take your money out or leave it there, do what you want, or add more. So there's no cap. I went, no cap. I went, wow. And there's no package. So you can pop in whatever you like. So let's say you tried $120. Those clients are getting approximately 10% a month. Now, it's not fixed, it's variable. But based on past performance, this is what those accounts are generating. Again, past performance is not indicative of any future results. But for those of you that can do better than that, let's say you were able to do $300 or $709 or $280 or $876. Let's say that's what you put in. That will fall into the standard category. So those accounts are getting 11% a month. Those that can do between 1 and 2.5 get 12. And you can see yourself, the higher the deposit, the better the potential rewards for your own account. I had 3 or 4 questions around this particular product. My first question was, well, if the customers are making all this money, how does the company make its money? And they said, well, the answer's on the screen right in front of you. And I still didn't know what they meant. And they said, well, the accounts on average are doing about 17.5. So if your account's getting 10% as an example, the company make the spread. They make that difference. And they told me that every trading institution around the world has an arrangement between the traders and the customers, and very often it's 60-40 split. So the customer gets 60% of it, and the trading team would get 40%. Sometimes it's a 70-30 arrangement. Sometimes it could be as good as 80-20. Really depends on the product and the platform you're using. But here, how it works is if you're getting 10%, and most customers will probably have a small account like that, the company makes 7% on those accounts. It's getting the difference between 17 and 10. For those of you that are getting 11, the company makes 6. For those who get 12, the company makes 5. For those of you that are getting 13%, the company's making 4%. And in every instance, the company's always making money. And I thought that was very, very important that the company's strong as well. So my next question was, can you take these profits out that you're getting? And they said, yes. And I said, right, yes, but when? He said, whenever you want. I said, what do you mean? Well, you can take it out every day if you want. So you can take your profit out any day you want. Yes. Okay. That was good. And then the next question I had was, what are you going to charge these customers? Because I've seen platforms that are charging 10% like crazy, make some money and they take 10% off you. So they said 1%, 1% withdrawal fee. Wow, that's very, 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 very fair. So these are the type of questions I had around this particular product. Again, I'm not giving you financial advice. This is really education. I'm just teaching you about this and what I know about it. So I wanted then to see some customer accounts. I didn't want to hear what the company was going to tell me. Yeah, these companies can tell you anything, but I wanted to see for myself a customer account. So here's one that was shared with me. And this account was funded with $500. It's a relatively small account. And you can see the date it was created in the bottom left. It was created on the 17th of September, 2025. You can see there. But I couldn't see 500. Even though the customer put in 500, all I could see was 882. So what in fact happened was this account had actually generated $382 of profit. So I thought this was for a year. Was that 382 for a year? No. If you look on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, can you see there in the 17th of September? This was actually for 5 months. So the account was started on the 17th of April on the left. And we're taking a timestamp right now at the 17th of September last year of 2025. So it had made $382 in 5 months. And when you check that out as a percentage, you divide the profit, the 382, by the deposit of 500. It works out at 76% in 5 months. Boom. 76% in 5 months. I've been in the real estate business since 1986. I bought my first shop. It takes 10 years to get 100% in property. For your property to double in value, it takes about 10 years for 100%. This is 76% in 5 months on a small account, which is sensational. And then I wanted to see a larger account to see how it performed. So here's one here started on the 10th of April, 2025. The date's clearest to be seen. This account was funded with $10,000 on the 10th of April. But have a look now at the 16th of May. Bottom right-hand corner, guys, look down there, 16th of May. That's actually 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, the big account was much better than the smaller account. The big account made $2,360 in the green. Can you see that? $2,360 in 5 weeks. So we started to track this account just to see how it operates. Can it sustain this? How is this possible, right? So we're looking at account number ending in 1972, started on the 10th of April. We saw it did 23% in 5 weeks. And then after 10 weeks, we saw it again. This was on the 24th of June, 2025. It is the same account number, 1972 is the last 4 digits. It was started on the 10th of April at 11:05 in the, no, maybe that's 11 minutes after midnight. Maybe that is. Yeah, that's 11 minutes and 5 seconds after midnight on the 10th of April. Now, the account had jumped from 10 to 12,000, and then from 12 up to 15,000 in 10 weeks. It made 5 grand, $5,000 in just 10 weeks. After 12 weeks, it made another $2,000. That was 17,000. And after 4 months, this particular account doubled. 4 months. We actually got sight of this in December last year, another 4 months after this, and it doubled again, actually. It doubled once and then doubled again inside 8 months. Again, I mean, I know why this account did well, or particularly well, and it's because, do you see this little green button here? It's not a green button, it's a white button inside a green slider. When a customer opens an account with these guys, this button is not turned on. In fact, if you were brand new listening to this now, and you open an account with this company, you probably wouldn't find that button in half an hour. Looking around the website, you'd probably never even find that button. So it's always in the off position. What does that mean? That means anytime you get a profit, it goes to your account for withdrawal. It does not compound. It doesn't work for you. It's no good sitting in there. You might as well take it out. So your money goes to the exchange. It trades on Binance. It trades on OKX. It trades on Kraken and KuCoin on these different platforms. That's where the liquidity is. But the profits that it generates comes back to your account every day while this button is off. And you can withdraw that money every day. That was the question I asked them. You can withdraw every day. But if you find this button, or if somebody guides you to this button and you turn it to the on position, what that means is you, as your prerogative, is saying, hey, don't send that money out. Leave it in Binance. Let it accumulate with my principal. So that's called the compounding effect. And not everybody understands what that is. You can find it from ChatGPT, or you can find it from, I suppose, YouTube. Just Google or YouTube. Explain to me the effects of 0.5% daily compounding over 12 months. If you type that in, you probably get some kind of video that would explain the power of compounding. It's something that banks have been using for years. Ordinary folk don't get access to it. We don't have products that can do that, but it's sensational. And that's why this account has done exceptionally well. The customer was expecting 15% a month. Based on the deposit, they were expecting about 15% a month. It smashed it, 23. Well, that was not a month, by the way. That was 5 weeks, but it was probably close to 20% instead of 15. So the compounding effect does take a toll on it in a positive way. Now, again, I said, how can you make this money? This is not normal. How can they said, well, because it's cryptocurrency is volatile, because the AI is so sharp, it's so smart. So this is a site called CoinMarketCap. It's a very respected, I suppose, third-party web platform. What this does is it checks out the prices of coins on all markets. So it's the CoinMarketCap. So it'll look at, let's say, Bitcoin was $75,000 on Binance, but maybe on Coinbase it's 75,200, and maybe on another exchange like KuCoin it's 74,820. So it's still one Bitcoin, but it's different prices on different exchanges. This site aggregates them and pulls it together, so you get a kind of a picture of what's happening. And what we're looking at here is 24-hour growth, 24-hour gainers here, 24 one day. This coin went up 2,000% in one day. This one did 800% in a day. Pepe Trump did 400% in a day. We just showed you accounts that are doing 100% in 4 months. These are doing 400%, 4 times that in a day. So when you can see this volatility and this massive surge of growth, all the AI of Aurum needs to do is go in and take a little piece of profit. It doesn't need to risk all of it. It can just go in and take 0.5% or a third of 1% or 0.7 of 1%. It doesn't need to do these figures, 400% in a day. That would be crazy. That would be risky. But it just shows people, wow, I didn't realize there was that such movement in the market. And that's how this makes so much money. So that's called the EXI bot. There are about 7 or 8 other bots as well. I'm not going to go into that on this particular call. There's one called the Pro bot, which is very good. There's another called the Zeus bot. They all have different rules and regulations about withdrawals and what you can do and what you can't do. They all have their own merits, but I suppose the feature product is the EXI bot. As I said, it's the longest standing one. For instance, the Pro bot didn't start until the end of 2024, whereas this one started in 2023. And then some of these bots only started in 2020. I think these started in 2024 as well, except the Solana one, which started in 2026. So they continually develop new algorithms and new bots. And again, you can get more of that information from the person that shared this with you. I'm only here just to give you a little bit of overview on it. The last thing I want to talk about is this card, no KYC, which is incredible. They are going to produce 4 cards, different tiers. 2 of them will require your details, and 2 will not require KYC. It works on Apple Pay and Google Pay, as I said. Really, really sensational product. There are people using this all over the world. The plastic card is difficult to get unless you know somebody in the know. I found that particularly from the region and the recent troubles in that region, these aren't getting out to the customers. But if you attended one of their events, they bring them to the event. You can collect them at the event. You can, I think it was about 600 of these given out at their last event. You can, if you know somebody in the region, you can go to the offices and get your card, or if you happen to be there. But that doesn't mean it doesn't work. In the meantime, you can use the virtual version because you can connect that instantly in about 5 minutes and off you go and you're up and operating. So great card. I want to show you this one working. I want you to notice there's no name on this man's card. This is John from the UK. John has tried this card, uses it regularly. He stopped the bot from trading, sent the profit to Visa, and off he went to buy some.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Thank you.
So remember, you can you don't have to use any of their trading products if you don't wish. You can just import your USDT from another exchange, pop it into your Aurum account and put it onto the card and go spend it. That's one thing you could do. You could actually take any of your trading profits that we discussed there now. You can take those and put it on the card and go spend them. You can, let's say you get involved in their affiliate program. I'm going to show you that in a moment. You could take profits from that and put it on the card. So this is just giving you a release valve to be able to spend cryptocurrency. And you don't have to put it on the card, and you don't need a card either. You can actually withdraw to any wallet of your choice as well. This is just an additional option. So what I want to do now, guys, is I want to move straight to the affiliate program because it's going to take me about 5 minutes to wrap this up. The affiliate program, many companies have affiliate programs, including Amazon, which probably has the best of them all. I know Binance have one. I know Apple have one. Many stores, the biggest stores you know of, have an affiliate program. Go to the bottom of their website. And you'll see affiliate program. And an affiliate program is very simple. For customers that refer customers to a particular business, the shop owners are saying, hey, listen, we didn't have to advertise. We didn't have to spend our money on TV or radio. We didn't pay Google or Facebook marketing. Listen, you've brought that customer. Here's a gift. Here's a handshake. Here's a bonus. That's all an affiliate program is. This is a sensational one. There are 15 ranks, 15 tiers. What is a rank? A rank is the same as traditional business. If you start on the shop floor and you're working there 8 months and the boss recognizes you're doing a great job, they might pat you on the shoulder and say, you're doing a great job. I'd like to promote you to supervisor. So that's a rank improvement. And they say, listen, by the way, there's a little pay rise coming with this as well. Oh, thank you very much, boss. A year and a half later, they might recognize you again and say, you know what? This area of the store is the best kept place in the whole of the shop. You're always on time. You're nice with our customers. We'd love you to apply for the role of manager of the whole shop now. And with that rank advancement, you get pay rise, a manager's pay rise. And then later on, 3 years later, the boss says, you know what? This store is the best of all 6 stores that we own in the region. We'd like you to be area manager of all 6 stores, not just this shop anymore. You get a pay rise. And then ultimately, after many years labor, you could become a director of that company. So another pay rise. This is the exact same. When I saw this table, I said, this is multi-level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I thought. 7 levels. Is this what I'm seeing? No, guys, it's not. This is an affiliate program. So how does it work? Very simple. You start as a Nova. Why? Nova means new. The new star in the sky is called the Nova Star. You're the new star in the Aurum business. And what happens is if you bring a customer on your referral link, you get a handshake. You get a thank you bonus. You get 3% of the deposit. Simple as that. What I like about this, it doesn't cost anything. How about that? If you have a neobank account with these guys, they give you an affiliate link or referral link in your account. You either use it or you don't. If you don't, who cares? If you do, who cares? But if you do, you get paid. So there's no obligation to share this with anyone. All right. But if you did, you make money. If a customer puts in $1,000, you're going to get $30. If they put in 10,000, you're going to get 300. So it's a one-time affiliate bonus for connecting a customer to a service or product that you like. If you don't like this, you'll not refer it. If you do like it, you might refer it. It's that simple. You could have one customer, you could have two. You could have 4, you could have 20. You could have 10,000, doesn't matter. It's a one-tier affiliate program. However, if you'd like a pay rise, and people do like pay rises, how would you prefer 5% over 3? What does that mean? Well, if $7,500 of total team trading is engaged in your entire structure, so that's your customers and any that they have and they have and they have, the whole team, when that approaches or hits exactly $7,500 or more, you are instantly promoted to the rank of Voyager. You get 5% on deposits instead of 3. You got a pay rise. But if one of your customers engages a new customer, they're going to get the 3% and you're getting an override of 2. It's a differential plan. It's from where you're coded at 5% and where the customers are onboarded at 3. You get that difference. If you bring the customer, you get 5. If somebody else in your team brings it, you get 2. To infinity generations in depth. In addition to that, you get a $100 cash bonus without asking, without waiting. It appears immediately in your account. In addition to that, every single day thereafter, as your customers are enjoying profits every day, you get 5% of what all of your customers make, but not just your customer base, the entire structure of all of your customers in it. It could be 9 customers, 9,000. Well, probably not 9,000, but as long as there's no Voyagers on the line, you're getting 5% of the profit of every customer in your network. Simple. If your customer puts in Bitcoin to the Zoo Spot, and let's say you don't have any Bitcoin in this, you get paid 5% in Bitcoin. If another customer somewhere in your network puts in Ethereum, you're going to get 5% in Ethereum. So you actually can build a portfolio of coins that you don't even have yourself if people choose to trade those. It's incredible. If you prefer 7%, you've got to go Vanguard. You get 7% on deposits of all the customers you introduce. If one of your customers finds a customer, they're going to get 3%. Why? Because they're Novas. They're not Vanguards. They're Novas. They get 3 of the new customer. You get the difference of 4 to infinity on every deposit. You get a $500 instant bonus. And then every single day, you get a 7.5% matching bonus on the profits of all customers. Now, if there's a Voyager on that line, let's say the Voyager's 4 levels deep, you're going to get 7.5, 7.5, 7.5 on all those profits. Once you hit this Voyager, you're going to get 7.5% on their account as well. But now the Voyager gets 5% to infinity on his network. You're the overriding Vanguard. You get 2.5 over his 5. You get 2.5% to infinity from then down to unlimited generations. On all open lines of business, there is no Voyagers or Vanguards. You're getting that whole 7.5% on every profit. And you can work your way up to serious profits here. Now, if you've understood what I've said in those first 3 ranks, you've understood 80 to 90% of our compensation plan, because here's how it works. A little bit more volume, a little bit of structure, you get 9%. A little bit more volume, a little bit more structure required, you get 10.5%. And you can work your way up through the plan. Very, very simple. These cash bonuses are quite interesting. $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 with each rank advancement. There's companies out there who give you a fancy pen when you hit a rank, or maybe they give you a cell phone, an Apple or a Samsung, choice of one of those. Maybe the next rank they give you a laptop or what do you call them things? iPads. Maybe the next rank they give you a holiday for 4 days and 5 nights, or 5 nights and 4 days. Maybe the next rank they give you a fancy watch. Maybe the next rank they give you a sports car. You've seen those companies. Well, this company don't do that. They just give you money. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. But it doesn't stop at 7 promotions. There are 15 to the top. The next one is elite. They get 20,000 cash bonus. The next ones get 50. The next ones get 100. Legends get 150,000. If you'd like to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, all you need to do is walk up to the route to Dominion. You get a $500,000 bonus on top of the 150 previously received, and the 100, and the 50, and the 20. There's $820,000, not counting what was on that first page, and not counting profit from direct sales up to 17.5%, daily matching bonuses up to 25% of all profits in the team, and this shareholder bonus, which we can talk about at training. It's incredible. 20 people have already done this inside 12 months. Some people are happy with an extra $100 a week, an extra $400 a month. That's fine. $400 a month will help many, 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 many families. It'll protect some marriages. It'll keep the wolf from the door. It'll help pay 50% of their rent or their mortgage. $400 a week is fine, or $400 a month is fine for some people. There's other people would prefer to get $100 a day, $700 a week, $2,800 a month. How about that? An extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Would that be interesting? Would that take a little bit of the pain away? Yeah. And then some people want to hit these lofty ranks, and it's down to you. There are people that are doing this. So what I say to people is, well, number one, Brian Benson is the same CEO for those people that are hitting these ranks as it is for you. He's the same man. The company is the same company. The products that those guys are getting to use are the exact same ones offered to you. So the product's the same, the company's the same. This compensation plan is the same for them as it is for you. And God gave them 24 hours in a day, and he gave you 24 hours in a day. Nobody got any more extra time. So really the difference between their success and your success rests with you. It's sitting on your seat tonight. So I hope you found value tonight. I hope you found the information, educational at least, give you some educational thing. But as I say, do your own due diligence. Please seek professional advice before starting any business. And I hope the decision you come up with is the right one for you and for your family. With that said, thanks everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.
Recording stopped.
Boom. Less than 1 hour, because we played 2 videos at the start that took 10 minutes, I'm sure. So we got that all done and dusted, guys. So there you go. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you all soon. And I'm off for a cup of tea. Thanks. Ciao.